Welcome to my garage where it all started, my mad science experiment, the bait shark that got completely out of control. This is a 3D printed one. I made these in here in my garage for like 4 years. And then as I progressed, even with the 3D printed one, I wanted everything made in the USA. And I discovered along the way that that was a lot harder than I had anticipated. There's companies that work with manufacturing partners in China. China reaches out, they make it very easy, and you can even get high quality goods there. It's not like you know, this whole thing about Chinese junk is not really true. If you want to pay for quality, you can get quality stuff in China. I wanted to make my product in the United States, and everything about this has been an experiment, and that was kind of part of the experiment. It all started with what is intellectual property, and how do we get a patent, and what's a trademark, and what's a design patent, and it started with that, and I just kept learning, so I kept going, and now I'm learning about marketing, so here I'm doing videos. But to talk a little bit about made in the USA, it's difficult to make something in the USA. Time is important, and so they don't want to give quotes, small quotes for small pieces, or if they give like small pieces of work, say 200 pieces of foam. You know, they don't want that business. They want 20,000 pieces of foam, which is what everybody wants. I want the same thing. I want to sell somebody 10,000 bait buckets, right? Not one. But to get over that hurdle, you know, you have to just keep going and press through and find all of your vendors or all of your suppliers. So I found a supplier. I first found a supplier for the foam, Worldwide Foam, out of Elkhart, Indiana. And I called them and I said, who do you guys work with? And they work with a company called Sol up in Lutz, Florida, which is an hour away from me. And that's Lutz does my foam. We order it from Worldwide Foam. Sol up in Lutz cuts the foam. They have a big press up there, an 8-out. I paid for an 8-out die, and they do a whole sheet at one time, 20, maybe it's 4 cuts or something like that, but they cut 20 pieces out of one sheet of foam. It took a lot to figure all that stuff out. Who are my vendors going to be and who am I going to work with? I searched and searched and searched for the fasteners. I searched all over the place for fasteners. And actually, a lot of companies in the U.S. that make fasteners, I get mine from Volt out of Arkansas, Yellville, Arkansas. I got my Yellville, Arkansas. I got my cheat sheet there. I'll put up an image of that. And I went through a couple of different iterations of fasteners. The first run of the bait shark had a problem with the fasteners that I had chosen, and I tested them, but about 1% or 2% had pullout issues. So I've got these new fasteners. They ratchet together and they are rock solid, so I'm very happy with those. The spring, I had to redesign the door. This door and this spring is a different attachment mechanism a little bit than this one, because this is designed for injection molding. The springs are made at JB Springs in Wilder, Kentucky. When I first made this bait bucket, there's a little different formulation. This was a standard spring. This one I had to make a custom drawing. I sent that drawing in, and they made it exactly the way I needed it. But this spring was just a standard torsion spring I ordered off of their stainless 304. And after these had been in the field for a couple of years, a year or two, I started getting reports. People said that my spring broke, it corroded through. I didn't understand that the stainless 304, I said stainless steel, but I didn't understand stainless 304 did not stand up to salt water, and so they started corroding through. If you have one of these units and you need a spring, just email me and I'll ship you one. I've got plenty of replacements still. This one, I've got a stainless 316 spring, custom double wound spring, and it's not gonna have any problems in the salt water. Stainless 316 has 1% molybdenum in it. I didn't know. The leash that I've talked about many times before, I get a 6-foot leash on here that I ship with the product. The original leash I was making myself. I was tying these up and snapping them myself. All of this stuff was made in the USA. I can't remember the exact vendor at the moment, but this leash is so much nicer. and it's 6 foot long to try to give you the make sure that you rig it correctly, even if by accident. It just has to be, you want this at the back end of your kayak. I've shown some pictures before, but the leash is made, is a Gear Keeper out of Ventura, California. John Salentine worked with me on that, and just, you know, he made prototypes for me. He said, you want to try this, you want to try that? He had so many options. They have a huge array of things that they sell that's all gear related, and he had so many options for me, and we came up with this, and I'm very happy with it. It's easy to attach, and it's saltwater proof. I mean, it's going to last, so I'm very happy with that. And then last but not least, the plastic. I got with a molder down here, right here in Bradenton, Florida. All those components come to Reimer and Reimer at Bradenton, Florida, and they shoot the bottom, the top, and the doors, 3 separate tools, and they put them in 3 different presses. And we have a lot of tops and doors, but for the bottoms, we only run a few hundred of those at a time right now because they take up a lot of space. That tool, I maybe can find a picture of that tool. It's like, I think it's like 6,500 pounds of steel. It's like half the size of a refrigerator, solid block of steel pretty much. Very impressive. But Adam Reimer has been working with running an injection mold press since he was 14 years old. And he knows as much about injection molding as anybody you will meet. And we did have an issue first go around. On the first run of these, we had an issue where we're using no break plastic. It's the same type of plastic that you put in or used to make a battery box or the battery in your car. That plastic is no break plastic. That plastic is very, very tough. You can run over it with your truck. It won't break. It might distort a little bit, but it won't break. And the issue with that is that it's a little bit soft. What happened here is because the connection from the top to the bottom, and because the door has to snap in, the door snaps into a little socket in there, that we needed the plastic to be a little bit stiffer. We discovered on the first run that soft formulation of the plastic would sometimes allow the door to pop out of that hinge. So in the second run, we added 10% glass fill, corrected that problem. So we corrected those 2 problems on the second run, and now, you know, everything is going well. We haven't had any warranty claims or returns since that time. But Bait Shark, you know, after all that work, Bait Shark does come with a limited lifetime warranty, manufacturer warranty, and I'm really proud that we did every single part of it in the United States. And even I'll go so far to say is that even the CAD software that I used to design this, to make this design, that CAD software is written in Huntsville, Alabama. So everything I could do, I made it in the United States. It was a journey. It was difficult, but I'm very proud that we're able to do that. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video and learning a little bit about that journey. Thanks.